think one of the things that I learned, I was in honors classes, and they separated us. So we literally went from fifth grade to eighth grade together, the same people. It made great bonds for us, but it truly separated us from the rest of our classmates. You know, we were those kids to them, you know, and that continued when we went to high school. A lot of us went to like an honors high school where you had to take a test to get in, and they only chose so many. So we always felt isolated until we got into that space where we could interact with others, and we realized there were a lot of things that we missed not being in the general population, you know, because there were certain stresses and certain things put on us to do because we were considered intelligent kids. There were certain aspects, social aspects, that we didn't really get a lot of because we just didn't do those things. As the quote-unquote smart kids, a lot of the different things that were probably a lot more fun, we never did because we were focused on work. You know, how has that helped you all? Like you said, you mentioned when you're working with these groups, you can be a leader. How have you been a follower and learned from some of the kids who may not be in the honor system or may not be as, may have some mental disabilities? How have you seen that?
Well, I mean, like being the smart kid, like the book smarts isn't always like everything you need in life.
Amen.
So the other kids, like before I started here, I was always, I mean, I'm always been in the honors classes, but I was terrible at communication. Like before high school, I wouldn't even be here. I'd be crying in camera. Where like the other kids have taught me how to like kind of break out and be more of like communication and taught me how to present better. Like,
Okay.
I don't know how to explain that, but it's like
No, that's good. That's good. That's
kind of
good.
taught me that.
Well, with like being part of the soccer team, it wasn't necessarily like that was like the smart kids weren't on the team. Like most of the smart kids weren't on the team. So like going into the soccer team, I like my first game I was nervous, and like they helped me like calm down, and like they told me like it's gonna be okay. Like nobody's gonna judge you out here playing.
Charles?
I think what helped me as far as the other kids that weren't in honors classes, playing baseball with them and seeing them in the hallway is that like I was able to come down a little bit because I used to be on like a really high horse as far as like I'm the best baseball player in the school, I'm really smart, such and such. So being with a lot of other normal people helped me kind of come down a little bit and be able to work with them because I didn't think I was better than them.
That's good. And it's hard it's hard to recognize when you're at that point in life, and it's even harder to change it. I share that same because I was kind of the same way. When I was in high school, I was all-state running back. I'm in New York, you know, all-state running back. They treat you like a king, honestly. So all of a sudden, you have a teacher, and I had one, Mrs. Forbes, whom I never had actually on my physical school schedule. But she demanded that I be in her homeroom every year because she wanted to make sure I came to school. Because unfortunately, I wouldn't come because I was a running back. I didn't have to come. As long as it was a game and I showed up and did what I needed to do, that was pretty much school for me, you know. And then you come out of that space and you realize, wait a minute, I'm missing a lot, you know, because there are certain things about me that I don't know because I'm thinking I'm up here, and then people help bring you down. they help ground you because they're like, well, you know, Stephen, you know, you really don't do this well. What do you mean? Like, does that even matter? Of course it does. You know, so I think that's a great aspect of school and just high school, that time in life when you're growing and you're becoming yourself. You're learning how to interact with others. You're learning how to communicate. You're learning how you learn, like, because we all learn differently. I think that's the one thing I'd like to hear a little more about. New Tech being such a unique system of learning. There are many people who just go to class and everything is taught through the teacher, and it's a one-way funnel of education, where you all, as you've shared, have taught and learned from each other. Now you're looking forward to those next years in school or continuing on to higher education. How do you think you're prepared to do this better this year coming up and just to roll this into your everyday life? Have you seen how you've been able to take this and take it outside of the school, whether it's working at church or working in a facility or even in your home?
I think
she passed it to you. See
you
that?
can
Yeah,
start.
yeah. You looked at
I think going into college next year, this the way that our system is set up, it'll help me a lot because I'm able to learn in a bunch of different ways instead of having to learn from just a teacher lecturing. I can go online and research a bunch. Like, I've learned how to do that efficiently through our project-based learning system. So I won't have to rely on just the teacher notes, because if I don't get that, then I know that there's resources I can use elsewhere that'll help me find what I need to.
And I think because of like the way how we learn all these different ways, like just the way everybody nobody like learns the way, none of the teachers teach the same way, so it helps you prepare for like all the different types of teachers. And if you have one teacher that's very strong in lectures, you can always like go out and do stuff yourself and try to learn like through Google searches and stuff. It helps you prepare for anything really.
I feel like because you can work with groups, and some people they're not like big with groups. So I feel like it helps you, like you can learn more independent, because you know what you're supposed to be doing, so you can go like do the research by yourself, and then you can just bring that back to the group instead of actually doing the research with the group.
Okay, excellent.